Welcome back to Montreal Connected. This Saturday, Lucian Bute and Pascal will square off at the Bell Centre. We brought in Herb Zurkowski and Matt Casavant to talk about what some people are calling the biggest fight in Canada since before I was born at least, right, Herb?
What?
Leonard Duran was in 1980.
There have been a lot of big fights in Montreal.
Tell me about what do you think was bigger than this one?
Well, I don't know that there's been anything bigger, but I've seen Davy Hilton fight Stéphane Ouellette, Eric Luca fought here a lot, and of course, I cut my teeth on Eddie Mello and Mario Cusson, which definitely was before the two of you were born.
Yeah, and all those fights, though, they were more local attractions. I think in the case of Pascal and Bute, it's also an international fight. HBO's in town. There's a lot of former world title holders. There's a lot of significance to this event and this fight Saturday night.
You think it's going to live up to the hype?
It's going to be difficult because the hype has been going on for such a long time. We know about Pascal and Bute. They wanted to face each other a few years ago. Now that the fight is finally here, it also got postponed. Of course, it was supposed to happen in May originally. It just seems that it's going to be very difficult, I think, to live up to the hype unless in the maybe early stages of the fight somebody gets hurt, then the fight really breaks out. But if not, I expect it to be quite a tentative fight early on, at least in the event.
Boxing never lives up to the hype. Never.
But you live up to the hype, Herb.
Always. Always. I always bring my A game, Ali. You know that.
I know that. Now, the Bell Centre's expecting a near sellout, though. What do you think? Where does Montreal rank in the world as a boxing city, Matt?
Well, it's up there right now, and especially that HBO is considering an American broadcaster. They want to come to Montreal. They've done so now with Adonis Stevenson, even Quebec City. What you're seeing is, before you see a lot of the casinos in Las Vegas, that's still maybe the mainstay, the main destination. But Brooklyn now is getting a lot of fights, and also Montreal is right up there, maybe with California as another state. And of course, like I mentioned, Brooklyn and New York. But the only difference is that there hasn't been too many neutral site fights here in Montreal. It's a lot of local top fighters like Pascal, like Bute, and Adonis Stevenson. But we haven't seen the Floyd Mayweathers or the big names come to Montreal and deliver crowds just yet. That would be the next step to confirm Montreal as the main destination in boxing.
Yeah, I think it speaks volumes that HBO has come here really for a local fight. There's no title on the line. I don't consider a North American title worth noting. These are two guys both in their 30s. You can make the argument both past their prime, both former world champions, and you have HBO here. That just states volumes about the magnitude of what the American network thinks about this fight.
Well, doubts are being cast on both sides of the ring. Some are saying Lucian Bute just isn't the same fighter since he got knocked out by Carl Froch in 2012. On the other side, some are saying Jean Pascal hasn't really fought an opponent with talent in the last 3 years. Who do you think has more to prove, Herb?
I think Bute right now has more to prove. You just don't ever know what a guy's like after a beating like that, and Froch really destroyed him. And of course, Bute did not fight all of 2013. I think that's huge. Having said that, Pascal has not impressed me since the night he lost to Hopkins.
Right, that was 3 years ago, the loss to Hopkins. Since then, Pascal has fought twice, 2 good victories, but against journeyman opponents at best. Bute only one fight since the Carl Froch loss against Denis Grachev, which he won, but wasn't so convincing that you maybe don't, have the Lucian Bute, who was a world title holder, the elite fighter, maybe over. And the surgery on his left hand, this power hand, how is that going to play into an effect? I think there's much more doubts for Bute right now, but yes, concern about both fighters, which makes it all that more interesting because you're really not sure what you're going to expect and see on Saturday night.
Now, these two guys really don't like each other. Talk to me about this week leading up to the fight outside of the ring.
Well, they've been pretty good leading up to the build-up in terms of being civil, if you will, but behind the scenes, there's tension between both camps. Jean Pascal has thrown, of course, on Twitter and even sometimes during the media press conferences and stuff, a lot of negativity towards Lucian Bute. Bute, of course, is always a bit more humble, a bit more quiet. His trainer, Stéphane Larouche, actually is somebody who does most of the talking for Lucian Bute. So because of that, backyard brawl, if you will, the fact that both teams for so long, Yvon Michel and Yvon Michel, Pascal's promoter, Interbox, Bute's promoter, they don't like each other. It could be a very interesting, the tension between the two.
I don't like the fact that Pascal always seems to be in social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. Do your talking in the ring. I really think...
Yeah, but he's new age. That's where it's at now. He's taking a page out of the Floyd Mayweather and trying to really hype up the event.
But he's not Floyd Mayweather.
No, not yet.
And he never will be.
Okay, prediction time. Who takes this one, Bute or Pascal?
I like Pascal to win. I just think that Bute, because of surgery right now, the concern he had against the Carl Froch loss, he doesn't look as good defensively for a guy like Pascal. I think in the later stages of this fight, especially if Pascal his stamina is up there and he's fighting well, he could maybe end the fight maybe around the 10th round TKO victory.
Like Toe Blake used to say, Ali, predictions are for gypsies. I will predict this. This is not the first and only time these two guys will be in the ring. There's too much money involved. I think it's going to be a very close decision, a split decision. It's going to go 12 rounds, and they will meet again. There's too much money for them not to meet again.
This has been Words of Wisdom from Herb Zurkowski.
Always.
Thank you both for joining us. Stay tuned for more Montreal Connected.